He said a unit. Good floor mopping music after someone dropping a unit in the back. I'm just picturing a giant piece of shit just sitting in the toilet and being like, oh, I gotta clean this. That's always the worst. I gotta clean this giant shit. What's going on, guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday, guys. It is the Monday Open out here, over here on Monday, guys. And like we said, a big move is on the horizon. Which direction will it go? I don't know. Now I'm just picturing a giant piece of shit. So my morning is complete. Let's see who we got here. Al Duckworth, what's going on, bro? What's going on, Franco already? I know Franco's in here loving the jazz music. He's always loving the jazz music. I think that jazz music would be a top hit. We have a lot of top, like previous top hits. I think that jazz music would be a top hit in the 80s. I think our Mirror Don't Lie song would definitely be a top hit in the, I think that would be a top hit in the early 2000s. And I think our little, rock song there would be a top hit in the 90s. That's just me, right? I might be a little biased, but you guys know me. You guys know me. Let's get the coffee brewing. We got the hazelnut coffee this morning, guys. I was going with the French vanilla for a little bit, but man, the hazelnut coffee, man, is really, really hitting the spot lately. I was introduced with the hazelnut coffee, and man, this thing just hits the spot. You put a little bit of milk in there. You don't need no cream. Just a little bit of milk. Screw the creamer. A little bit of milk, and you're rocking and rolling with this thing, bro. You really are. Who we got in here? I saw CH spreading the FUD in the chat. No, I'm just kidding. It's not really fun. I mean, some of it's realistic. What's going on? What's going on? Man-made sounds. I always want to see Mama. He said, "Good morning, good morning, bro." I need a good morning sound. No, I need a good morning. Something weird. One of those weird little good morning sounds. What's Bitcoin doing, man? Bitcoin really didn't do anything overnight, but that is okay, I guess. So. It's a fresh week, guys. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for every week. I feel like every week I'm like, damn, I'm excited for this week. Happens every single week. But another week where I'm excited, right? I'm kind of sounding like Rover lately. I'm super excited. I'm super excited for this week. But, Bitcoin kind of just coiling up. A lot of people still looking at this as a diamond pattern. I guess you could still say it's legit if you do believe this is a diamond pattern. I just drew this as support resistance just so we can kind of map out when we should expect a move by, because if we're gonna say we have lower highs coming in and we have higher lows coming in, we should expect some type of move for Bitcoin by the end of the day tomorrow. Probably today, I'm gonna assume, right? Because you got the stock market opening. Monday's always gonna be a little volatile, right? So Monday you're gonna have, you know how it is. Monday you're gonna make a Monday high, Monday low. You can use those to trade really, really well. But Monday's usually that day where you kind of make a range and you make this little range of where you want to be. So I'm interested where you see. Now, we're getting resistance off this previous weekly open. This previous weekly open has been a pain in our ass, right? This is 2 weeks ago, the weekly open. You guys can see we got resistance on it once. We got resistance on it all night last night, right? All night long. All night long. Shout out to the song. You guys are like, Jordan, that's not funny, man. Well, we got resistance on this weekly open, right, all week, and we are starting to come down a little bit. So I'm interested, man. We got the stock market futures that are up. We got DXY, which is down. We got gold, which is down. Should be interesting Monday morning, guys. Let's see who we got. Doolin Banjo said Zigzag coin main exchange. I don't know what Zigzag coin is, man. The only thing I know that's Zigzag is my brain. When I start drinking this coffee, it goes all over the place. It really does. It goes all over the place. The big unit. A giant piece of shit in the toilet that's just a big unit. That's never, like, as someone who worked at a Wendy's before, okay? The worst thing you want to do is go in a bathroom as the Wendy's employee, right? Look down in that toilet when you're about to clean the toilet and just see a giant unit sitting in the toilet. You know what? You guys know that unit. That unit where it sits in the toilet and you flush it and there's not even toilet paper in there. The unit alone clogs the toilet. That's how you know it's a unit. When the poop alone clogs the toilet, oh my God, that's how you know you're eating something you're not supposed to be eating. If your poop clogs the toilet with no toilet paper, that's how you know. That's how you know a unit's in there. That's your worst nightmare is Anyone who has to clean a bathroom is seen a giant unit in the bathroom. But anyways, it's like we said, guys. I mean, Bitcoin's cooling up. I will still say, you know, as long as you're above the 4-hour 50 EMA, which is 27,439, I wouldn't say there's anything to be, you know, immediately worried with, right? You're sort of just bouncing off the 50 EMA, bouncing off the 50 EMA, bouncing off the 50 EMA, though you are starting to kind of roll over, right? You're starting to roll over. So if we go to the daily time frame, right, and let's look at where we're at. Let's do a little zoomy zoom, and let's zoom out. So the daily time frame, right, we obviously know we're at, like, this is the biggest resistance on Bitcoin's chart. Like, this is the gateway to heaven or the resistance back to hell. All right, so how do we know this, right? It's our previous support, right? From January, from June of 2021, from May of 2022. It is a major previous support that we're now flipping to resistance. You were going to get a reaction here, whether you were bullish or you're bearish. You were going to get a little resistance here. You most likely weren't just going to smash through. So now what we want to see is, okay, we're here. Everyone's pointing to lower. What I'll say is this. Our daily stocks are starting to come back down. The good thing about this is, you know, as you go sideways, that does reset some of your momentum indicators. So instead of having this dump that has to reset, say the stock RSI or your market cipher or your RSI or whatever indicator you're looking, you can have sideways consolidation, which allows these to reset without having to come super low, right? So you can see the daily stocks are coming down. Now, I will say this. If Bitcoin's going to bounce from right here, I want to see it happen within, I preferably like to see it happen today, but within the next 2 days. I don't want to see this kind of stay up here for significantly longer because usually when the stock RSI gets around this 50 level, that's where you see a bounce if it doesn't want to reset all the way down. All right, so if you don't want to see the stock RSI go work all the way down, you usually want to see it bounce off this 50 level, right? If you look in the past, this is where it's gotten a bounce, right? Without going lower, right? Bounce without going lower. Bounce without going lower. That's where you want to see it bounce. So within the next day or two, you most likely want to see that bounce. So, you know, it's one of those things. And, you know, we've had these times where this has been topped out and it's came down, but yet Bitcoin keeps squeezing higher. Like from over here, guys, right? So daily started to come back down, but you can see that Bitcoin kind of just kept squeezing, right? It kept squeezing. Everyone kept trying to short it, and Bitcoin kept just squeezing higher. Eventually, it got that pullback, you know? Eventually, it got that pullback, but in the meantime, right, until it really wanted to pull back, it kept squeezing, right? Until the bears were like, screw this, man, I'm going long, right? I'm going long because it keeps squeezing higher. Why is it squeezing higher, man? It should be dumping. And then it dumped. As soon as the bears were like, screw this, I'm going long, right? Are we at that point yet? I don't know if we're at that point yet. But what I will say is, if we do get a pullback here, okay, which you got to be okay with. If you're a bear or a bull, I remain long-term bullish, guys, all right? The higher term time frames, the weekly and the monthly look super, super bullish. There's nothing to be scared about with that. Not even close, to be honest. Like the monthly couldn't look more bullish, in my opinion. But, you know, for each their own. Short-term time frames, you could still see a little bit of a pullback, right? Because you got to respect where you are. You're at resistance, right? You're at this 28.8 level, which we've been talking about forever. It's the 786 Fibonacci. Just like we talked about the 618 Fibonacci, and you saw a pullback from there. The level I'm looking for, right? And I think everyone and their mother's looking at this level, right? Everyone and their mother, including my mom, right? Karen is also looking at this damn level like a hawk. Judge Bibles, what's going on? Good guys, good morning. What's going on, bro? Guys, look at the confluence at this. So the funny thing is this level reminds me of this price action over here, but it could remind me of right here, or it could remind me of right here. I'm just not sure which one it does yet. It reminds you of one of these two areas because you can see you're fully extended from the 30 and 50 EMAs, right? So you're a little bit overextended on price. Usually you see a pullback, but right here, you guys remember when we came up to this like 22 level, Bitcoin started to pull back. Everyone's like, it's topped out. You're at resistance. Everyone's calling double top, right? Double top, double top. But Bitcoin squeezed a little bit higher, right? It squeezed a little bit higher because everyone was bearish at this resistance. It squeezed a little bit higher, get everyone bullish, and then it pulled back. I don't know if you're here or you're right here. That's the big question for me. If we do see a pullback here, which is cool, right? We're at 28K. It's a great time to take some profits if you are in profit. Great time to take some off the board if you're feeling a little bit nervous. If you're biting your nails out there and you don't know what to do, great time to TP. But if we do pull back, look at the 30 and 50 EMA also coming in right at this 25.2 level, right? And you can see that's where we pulled back right here before we had that next leg up was the 30 EMA. So I look at this level. If Bitcoin's going to pull back right around in this zone, right between 24,400 and 25,400 would be the perfect zone for me to pick up a little bit more BTC in the case that we do see that pullback. So that's obviously the bearish scenario as you got the daily stocks pointing down. Dion said long-term bullish, short-term bear. I would say right now I'm a little bit like I'm long-term bullish and kind of neutral at the moment. Like immediate short-term here. Just because you're at resistance, right? So you gotta be kind of neutral at resistance. You can't be like Ultra Moon Boy or like right at resistance as we kind of sit here. What's going on? Who we got in here? Franco said the baby leg. The baby leg. What's going on, bro? We got the baby leg up in this bitch. Let's see. Fumble said, "What's up, guys? I'm not usually up this early." Fumbles, wake up, man. Get your coffee. Get your coffee brewing, man. What do you want me to make you a coffee? Hey, in 2 hours, I'm going to be over there at McDub's, okay? I don't get to quit my McDub's job until Bitcoin breaks above 30K. We break above 30K, I can quit McDub's. For now, I'm at McDub's, so what is it? Fumbles. If you want to meet me at McDub's, local McDub's over here, I will be over there right around about 10 o'clock my shift starts. I have to get off this, change, and get over there. So if you want a coffee, I'll hook you up, bro. I'll hook you up. Free coffee on me. Over there at the local McDub's, because until Bitcoin breaks above 30K, you got to be a little cautious and you got to keep that McDub's job. You know what I'm saying? Club Station said, "Will it squeeze out a pickle or a turd?" That's the big question here. I've seen everyone and their mother make a prediction from this level, right? That's the big question. It's delicious coffee, man. It's absolutely delicious. Delicious. Hazelnut is the way to go. Not French vanilla. CH said 2,500 is the price I'm looking for. CH, I think you're going to be waiting for probably interior skeleton, my man. That's just my take. If you're waiting for 2,500, CH, you've been watching this show for a while, man. But unfortunately, I think you're going to be a skeleton waiting for that level. I really do, right? It's like that meme where it's like the Bears waiting for 3K, right? And it's just them sitting on the bench as the skeleton. It's one of those things. Good luck to you, CH. And, I wish you the best. I wish you the best. And if it was up to me, I wish it wicked down there for you. You got your limit order and it popped right back up and we can all be happy. But unfortunately, I don't know, Mo. I don't know about that, bro. All right. So this is where we're at. Cool stuff. Cool. So we know where we're at with Bitcoin, guys. I'm still looking at nothing's really changed here, guys. I mean, it sound like Savvy here.
Nothing has changed.
Right? I'm still looking at this as a Wyckoff. First low, second low, we got the spring. We got the breakout. We broke above the 50 moving averages. Like, we broke above everything I wanted to break above, right? Think about everything we broke back above. We broke above the 50 moving averages. We broke above the bull market support band, which was the 20 moving averages, right? We back tested the bull market support band. We got back above the 200 week moving average, which everyone was saying, oh, but we're getting resistance below the 200 week. We're bearish. Well, we now got to close back above there, right? And an open and close back above there. Okay. So to me, the only thing I can really say is, okay, we're at a major resistance level. You can get a pullback or consolidation here, but I can't be necessarily long-term bearish here. Okay. I can be short-term bearish and look for a short-term pullback, but I can't be long-term bearish here. And that's my take. I'm still looking at this as a big Wyckoff, literally the opposite of the highs, where down here, everyone's bearish. There's still a lot of disbelief in the market. Over here, everyone was bullish. There was too much belief in the market, right? You got the first low, you got the second low, you got the spring, you got the back test, you got the continuation down, right? First low, second low, spring, back test, continuation up. Just the opposite, just flipped as far as sentiment, as far as Bitcoin's dead, right? Bitcoin's going to the moon, Dogecoin, freaking, Elon Musk, Michael Saylor, all those guys buying the highs, and just the opposite of the lows. Still same thing, right? I'm gonna keep harping on that until it's kind of plays out here. So that's about where we're at on the weekly time frame. Dion said zoom out. I'm zoomed out right now, bro. I don't know. How long can the bears say zoom out for? Where, because if I go to the monthly time frame, I don't know if you want me to zoom out because the monthly looks the most bullish to me, right? I think the bears want me to zoom in at this point. If I zoom out to the monthly's looking bullish as hell, man, right? And the monthly time frame still remains. This is one big range, right? 30K to 66K is one big range. You get the lows to the highs. This, to me, yes, we're below it, okay? So that's why I put breakthrough here. We follow our deviation rules. What's our deviation rules? If we deviate a range, right, we got range lows and we deviate the range to the low, but then we break back into a range, technically speaking, based off, not my rules, but based off of swing failure patterns, you do eventually target the range highs. I don't make the rules, I follow the rules. So it really comes down to this 28.8K level, right? So, my take is for the bears, okay, at what price do you say I'm bullish, right? Because to me, like before, when we were below 25K, all I was hearing was, man, we're still below 25K. If we break 25K, you might change my mind a little bit. I might be a little bit bullish above 25K. Now we're sort of changing the goalposts. Now we're saying, oh, Bitcoin's still below 30. If we go above 30, maybe I'll be bullish, right? To me, it's like, how many times do we change the goalposts here? If we go up a little bit more, right, then it will be, oh, Bitcoin's still below 35K. If we get back above 35K, I'll be bullish, right? It's like we just sort of keep changing the goalposts until eventually Bitcoin's sitting at 35, 40K, and it's like, oh shit, it's kind of too late. I think I'm bullish now. And by the time we get up there, I'll be selling, and you'll be buying, right? So that's what I'm saying. At some point at the lows, my take is at some point at the lows, you have to grow some balls and say, man, I think the lows are in. The worst thing, in my opinion, that people can do is wait till Bitcoin gets to a certain price and then buy. Because I guarantee you, if you wait till a certain price to buy, that's going to be the top. Because everyone's going to be thinking the same thing. You know what I mean? But hey, obviously we have to wait for this to play out, right? It sounds stupid, just like when we were at 15K and I was bullish and the majority was calling for 10K, 14K. But we were sitting down here in January 2023, and I said, in the middle of January, I expect Bitcoin to get back above the bull market support band. Everyone was calling me crazy, yet it happened, right? Now everyone's going to call me crazy again, and, I'm just going to sit here and kind of say the same thing every day, even though I'm going to ignore the noise, because the noise is loud, always. And we're kind of just going to keep doing our thing here. Because the monthly, there's nothing bearish on the monthly time frame, guys. I mean, I don't know what to say. Shib's pumping. Let's go, bro. Let's go. LB said 25K diamond target may happen, may not. I agree. If Bitcoin's going to get a pullback here, it's going to be to this 25K level, right? So if you even take a measured move, right? Say if this is the diamond pattern here. Look at the confluence, right? So if this does break down, right, this would get you. Okay, I probably should do it on this chart over here. If this does break down for you diamond pattern guys out there, let's take the swing high to the swing low. Let's put it at the breakdown point. That would get you right to 25,300, right? Right around that range, which we said on the daily time frame, bro. There's so much confluence right there as far as previous range highs, right? 30 and 50 EMAs on the daily time frame, which are typically what you want to hold on an uptrend, right? So like this zone right here, that's like the max bid. Like that's where I get super pumped and I look for a nice juicy long position because that would be a gift. I would love that shit if we got a retest of there. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not completely sold yet on that. I'm not completely sold yet. We'll have to see. Let's see. Dion said, I'll be bullish when we come back to retest the lows. As of now, I'm holding and selling if we go to 31K. That's fair, Dion. That's fair. I think right now is a great time to take profits, man. I'm not saying like, for me, it's more of just telling you where I think price is going, not necessarily what you should do, right? Because I've been telling you what I've been doing, right? Accumulating at the lows. So for me, this is take profit time, even though I do think Bitcoin's going higher. I'm not 100% sure of that. So it's always good to take profits on the way up because you might be certain Bitcoin's going to a level, but you don't know, right? Just like up here, when everyone was certain Bitcoin was going to 100K, it didn't, right? So if you were taking profits on the way up, you did much better rather than just waiting for a price, you know? So right here, I have taken some profits here at 28, right? Because it's a major resistance point. We could reverse from this level, even though I don't think we will, right? We could. That's always the thing. Don't rage at me. What's going on, bro? He's always giving away memberships in the chat. This guy's crazy. This guy is crazy, man.
Strap up. We're going
He's
to
out
the
here
moon.
going crazy. Now let's talk a little bit about the stock market, because stock market futures are up, which is a good thing for Bitcoin, right? The problem we have with the NASDAQ is the NASDAQ's still below this key resistance. So we want the NASDAQ. You see right here, guys, so we have resistance right here in the NASDAQ. We deviated above at the end of last week. And now we're trying to come back up. We're finding still some resistance on that daily resistance level. If we see the NASDAQ break up here, you're going to see Bitcoin continue up, right? Bitcoin will not go down if the NASDAQ goes up. It won't, right? So watch the NASDAQ right here. If NASDAQ starts breaking up here, you're probably going to see Bitcoin start squeezing up. It may not moon, but it will do one of these squeezes where, you know, we talked about this earlier, where, you know, everyone's bearish, but then it just kind of keeps squeezing up slowly. Probably won't see a moonshot, but kind of like Bitcoin just doing this, right? Squeezing up before eventually it's going to have a pullback eventually here. But the NASDAQ, we want to see the squeeze up. Same thing with the ES, right? If we go to the little S&P, also squeezing up this morning. Stock futures look pretty good. Same thing for ES. ES, you know, for all you pattern guys out there, which, you know, it is what it is. We all like different things, you know. I'm not going to make any jokes, but, you know, we look at this. We got left shoulder, we got head, we got right shoulder. What do we like to say about the inverse head and shoulders, guys? We all like a little head, right? So you got the little left head, right at support, okay? And what do we always say? You got to be a little bit okay or somewhat bullish at support, right? So ES kind of just sitting above this all-time high trend line. ES looks good going into today. You should see a green day on this too, in theory here. So we'll keep watching ES, but ES looks pretty good on that. So stocks look pretty good. The Dow Jones is also getting a squeeze up to the upside. Dow Jones actually looks pretty good too. You know, so like you got some good things here on some stock markets here. So not too shabby, not too shabby. I will say this though, if the Dow Jones breaks above this level here, oh man, I think you're going to see stocks do very, very well, because the Dow Jones all of a sudden has, what do we have, guys? What is this? What is this if this plays out? This is textbook, right? We got a range on the Dow Jones, bada bing, bada boom. We got range lows, range highs. We got range low, right? We deviated the low. If this gets back in here on Dow Jones, we got to target the highs, right? Which in theory would be pretty good for Bitcoin, right? We don't know yet. We got to see if it breaks in. But that could be a good little play. Who we got? Rage keeps coming in hot, bro. Shout out to Rage, man. Shout out to Rage. LB said healthy pullback. Agreed. Nice entry. I agree. I would love to get an entry right there. I just don't know if Bitcoin's going to do it. You know, I'm not completely sold on that, to be honest. As I think everyone's looking at that same exact level, right? So to me, it's one of those things that is Bitcoin just going to go right to the level everyone's looking at? You know, maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes that happens where everyone's calling for this 25-2 pullback to retest. And it almost is a self-fulfilling prophecy because everyone's going to buy there. So what happens is it pulls back. You know, to me, what I think would happen if Bitcoin does pull back here, if it's really bullish, right? If Bitcoin's really bullish, we should see strength before 25-2. I don't think if we really want this to move up, I don't actually think we want it to come to 25-2. What I think will happen is if everyone's watching this retest and everyone's like, you know, we should retest this because this is major previous resistance, we should retest it as support. What I think should happen is if Bitcoin does start to break down here, you actually front run it, right? You front run this level because everyone's going to have limit orders here. But I think what will happen is if it's really bullish, you'll front run this. You might even get a bounce at like this 26K level and just sweep these lows, right? You sweep these lows, take out all the longs, and then you start to come back up while everyone and their mother is waiting for 25-2. I think that would really show the strength. Obviously, we don't know, but you know we've done that a couple times, right? So let's go back in the past. Where have we done that before? We did that right here. You guys remember this level here? where what was everyone waiting for on this pullback, right? Everyone was waiting for a sweep of these lows below here. But what did Bitcoin do? Came right here, didn't sweep those lows, even though everyone was like, it's got to come down here to take out the longs. It didn't. It front ran it and came back up. And then down here, when we came down here to like this 19.5 level, everyone was looking for 18.6, right? Just to retest the range lows. But what did Bitcoin do? It came down to 19.6, but didn't come all the way to this 18.6 level, which everyone was waiting for as a range low retest, including myself, to be quite fair. You know? So it pumped back up, right? Right there, and kind of missed out. So, you know, what would be most interesting is it pulls back, but doesn't come all the way to 25.2 and front runs everyone, right? And kind of does one of those little sweeps. One of those little sweeperonis like that. Mike said agreed. Mike, we're always, I feel like me and Mike always got the same idea, man. Right? I honestly, if it does pull back, I think it does something like that. It sweeps, but doesn't fully pull back. And that'll show that the bulls are really in charge if it doesn't even come down 25.2. Who we got? Jackson said, drinking my French press coffee, watch the market. Shout out to Jackson, bro. He's drinking his French press. I got some, you know, I got some drip coffee. I got, they call it drip coffee. I got some drip coffee. I got some hazelnuts with some skim milk. Nothing crazy. Even though 2 months ago I was like, who puts milk in their coffee? I drink my coffee black. Now I'm back to putting milk in it. And then in 2 months from now, I'll be putting cream in it. You know, everything else. Don't Rage at Me said, can we get super bearish? We could get super bearish. I just think, I don't think we're anywhere close to being like, oh my God, we're super bearish. I think to get super bearish, you'd probably want like a weekly close below 25.2. And even then, you know, you still be looking for a higher low on the weekly. For me, I guess, for me to be like super bearish, you would really have to break below 19.5. If you break below 19.5, you're probably looking at lower lows at that point. But until then, it's, you know, like we keep saying, guys, in the higher time frame, it's just low, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So on a potential pullback, we'll call it that, right? I'm still not, like I said, I'm still not fully sold on it, but let's see. You would just look for a higher low, right? Because we got the major breakout on your Wyckoff. You broke above. To me, I keep saying this, the break above the 50-week moving averages was the key sign for me. Not only did you break out of this 10-month range, but the fact that you broke above the 50-week moving averages was in history. That's been the bear market end, right? 1 year of bear market, you break above the 50-week moving averages, that's been the bear market end. 1 year of bear market, you get back above the 50-week moving averages, that's been the bear market end. It's really only been 2 times. Right here. Right? 1 year of down, break above the 50-week moving average. Yeah, you went slightly back below, but you got to keep in mind that the Bitcoin market cap was like, I think like $1 million back here. So you could move the market with a penny. And then obviously that was technically the bear market end, right? So, you know, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, man. Not necessarily like you're going to see something like this, where Bitcoin just rips to the upside forever here, but more so of the 2019 scenario. Right? Something along these lines where I think this year will be chop. It'll be up, down, sideways, poo-poo, poo-poo, shoo-poo, shoo-poo. Right? But I do think we have a little bit more in this disbelief rally here. As I still see, you know, despite everyone thinking everyone's bullish right now, I don't think everyone's bullish. I don't. I don't at all, actually. I don't at all. When you make your super good coffee, it's always funny to try and recreate that same thing again and get it right. Facts. I honestly, I got it down though. I filled this up like this much with milk, right? Just like an inch of milk, rest, hazelnut coffee. It's very, very simple, very, very simple formula. but it never seems to sort of amaze me how delicious it is. I am just a pro at making coffee, guys. Just kidding. I really do nothing special. Honestly, I would be, if I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, I probably couldn't even make a regular coffee with cream and sugar. I would mess it up somehow, and you would get a Karen yelling at me going, you can't make a regular coffee. And I'd say, sorry, I just started here. Sorry. And then the Karen would be like, Could I speak to your manager? And I would look at her and I would go, you're really messing with the wrong guy. I watched Joker last night, right? And I'll be like, you ever seen the movie Joker? I could be that guy. You really want to talk to me like that? Right? And she probably never seen it because she's a Karen, right? She probably only watches soap operas and TLC. But, you know, she would double think it. She would double think it. Joker, great movie, by the way. Great movie, by the way, guys. Let's see. So like I said, stocks looking pretty good. DXY, which we want to continue down. This has been in a downtrend since October here. 7 months of down, actually. DXY today so far is flat. This is where it gets interesting here, and this is where it gets a little bit crazy because technically speaking, the DXY came down. I was looking for 101.34. You actually got a nice higher low on the 786. So the DXY here is one that I don't have a great read on this right now, to be honest. You know, you're kind of just like you're kind of doing what you did here, and that's why I'm not sold on it. Everyone's kind of sold on it popping back up, but you kind of did what you're doing here. You got back above the 50, right, and then you kind of consolidated above, but eventually you broke back below. So what I want to see here on the DXY is you guys can see here it got back above the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. What I want to see here is will this just be sort of a lower high? So will we find resistance in this zone again before getting that next leg lower? Or is this just a little bit kind of like a flag before we continue back up, right? If the DXY comes up here, right? So if you notice on some of these indicators, right? Market Cipher about to print a 4-hour red dot here on DXY. If it pops back up here and you make a little M formation and this continues down, stocks are going to look really, really good. And Bitcoin should, in theory, look really, really good too. So watch this key zone as this is previous support. Flip it to resistance once. If it spikes back up again, watch for this to act as resistance again, just like you did here before that next leg down, right? And you look for that next leg down after, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you guys like Elliott waves, that would be a little 5-wave down, right? So watch this very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. And we shall see what the Dixie does. The Dixie. Dixie's interesting right now, man. Like I'm always one to say, if I don't have a good read on a chart, I will tell. Like the Dixie right now is very interesting because you got some bearish signals. You got the weekly printing a red dot, but then you got the daily printing a green dot. It's very interesting here on sort of the little Dixie. I will say though, like the bigger term trend still remains down. I do think the dollar is putting it. I made a bold claim. I think the dollar put in its all-time highs here. Not all-time highs, but it's last high. You guys know my take. I'm a very conspiracy theorist. I think the dollar is donezo. In the next 10 years, the dollar will be gone. Donezo. This is the high for the dollar, in my opinion. And you know, last time we got a weekly red dot on the dollar was literally the high. And we just put one in last week. So I still think the bigger term trend is down. Could you still see a short term move up? Yeah, you could. It's just I'm more at this point in the cycle. I'm more worried about the bigger term time frames. It's not any of this bear market woo where I care about the 1 hour time frames. At this point, I'm in the zone where I'm looking towards next year. Okay, 2023 is the year where we prepare for 2024. So I care about where this ends up on the weekly. Who we got? Christopher Reed said the dollar's finished. You guys know my take, man. I think the dollar's done. I think dollar will not be the world reserve currency within, I say 10 years to be conservative. I think within the next 5 years, the dollar will lose world reserve currency status. This ain't it need to be political, but I do think its reign is coming to an end. Actually, tonight I found a cool little chart to show you guys why I think this. Okay, and I'll show you guys tonight. I'll get it for you tonight. I just don't have it here. And I'll show you guys exactly why I think the dollar is coming to an end. Let's see. I'm counter trading you. Recession is coming. DXY going to the moon. We'll see if it. We'll see if it. I said it would be the most predicted recession ever if it does happen. You know, since when does Joe down the street know a recession's coming? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I was told that we were already supposed to be a recession right now. I haven't seen it yet. You know? We're halfway through 2023. I'm still waiting on it. The dollar's not finished. China will serve U.S. Deal with it. Let's see. Russia will serve China as a resource economy. Bath. I respect the chart, my man. The chart's telling me the dollar's donezo. Done. Donezo. And I'll be out of the U.S. when it does happen. Where there's a better currency that's doing well somewhere. Europe. All right. Let's see. Let's check out. So we looked at the dollar. Dollar's let's see what else we got. Man. We can agree to disagree, all right? Let's agree to disagree and see where we're at in 5 years, okay? Because we'll both be here in 5 years. We will. We'll both be here in 5 years. Altcoins, you got XRP getting a nice little move again, right? Now, once again, be careful because XRP's been in this spot before where it's got a big spike up and then it spikes up again and sort of makes that second high, right? Where there's a lot of hype on XRP, but if you look at where it's at, it's coming up right to this all-time high resistance right where you topped out last time. So XRP, this is kind of the do or die time for XRP. You know, am I convinced this is going to smash it to the moon here? Not really, to be honest. I hope it does for whatever reason, right? Because if XRP smashes it to the moon, I got to assume the rest of the market's going to do pretty well too. So XRP kind of coming up again. I'll give a little pump song for XRP this morning. It deserves it. It deserves it. It deserves it this morning. Hey. Let's go, man. Alan said USA is topped. I agree. You can kind of just get that feeling too. Anyway, we're not going to get too far into this. XRP. What do we got going on? So, like I said, you kind of coming up again. I would be very careful here, right? If you're not in XRP already, right? You weren't accumulating the lows. What do we always like to say, guys? As we approach these big resistance points, these are take profit points, not buy points. I want to get more into this as we go, right? I will say I will not be the channel that's telling people to buy on the move up. That's not the way to go. That's why the whole bear market, okay? I was telling you guys where my accumulation range was, so we didn't have to worry about saying, damn, I missed out on this. Should I buy now, right? That's not the way we should be looking at it. We should be looking at this saying, I already accumulated. Should I be taking profits here? XRP, you know, I think a lot of people that are in XRP are in it for the long term. So once again, like if you don't want to take profits here because this isn't high enough for you, sure. If you're waiting until next year to take more significant profits, sure. I understand that, right? We're not in this for a 20% move up. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of us aren't here for 20%. You know what I mean? A lot of us aren't really traders. A lot of us don't really care to trade. So you guys are holding this. So like I say, like you have to take profits here. Do what you want to do. Weekly time frame, though, you are approaching this level. The XRP is starting to look kind of interesting on the weekly, man. You're back above. Look at this. Look at this. So I want to see a nice, juicy green candle above the 50 EMA this week because you haven't done that since when Bitcoin was at all-time highs. November 2021. You've came up to it, look, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, right? But you haven't been able to get back above. If you can get a nice, juicy green candle above this, okay? XRP is all of a sudden looking pretty good, and you have the longer-term structure. Look, you got the first low, you got the second low, you got the big weekly W formation that's forming here, man. It's there. It's there. We can't argue it. It's there, right? But now we need to see that follow through, right? It's all cool and dandy, but now we don't want to see like a wick like we did up here or a wick like we did last week. We want to see a nice juicy follow through with some strength and close this weekly candle with some girth. No wicks on the top, right? No wicks on the top. Nice juicy follow through candle. That's what we want to see here for XRP. But you're knocking on the door. You're knocking on the door. Heaven's door is there for you. It's just kind of like Bitcoin, right? Heaven's door is there. Will you go through the door? Just like the corn right now. Like, will you go through the door? Let's see. Typical XRP does nothing for months, so moved all mine into stacks, and XRP pumps 2 days later. Simon, that's how you always know what it is. That's why if I'm in an alt and it's not performing well, I ain't moving it out of that alt, because I know as soon as I do, it's gonna pump to the moon. It's happened to me way too many times, because like it's almost like this is what the markets do to you guys. The markets are actually very psychological. Most people think the charts are just numbers and stuff. A lot of it is psychology too. Why do you think the market makers move the market like they do? Because they know if the rest of the markets, if they're holding a coin down, right, and the rest of the market's going up, there's a reason why they're holding that one down. Because they know most people will be flooding out of that one, selling it, so they can get their buy orders in, because everyone else wants to flock to the coin that already pumped, right? And so the market maker will be able to buy those people selling it at that low price, right? Liquidity is it called, right? And then as soon as all the plebs are out of that coin that hasn't pumped and going into the one that's already pumped to the moon, because that's human nature, right? You want to go into the one that's already pumped. Then that one always soon after gets that rise to the upside. It happens every single time. It's psychology, right? It's crazy. It's great. That's why, like right now, right? Bitcoin's catching a bid. I think at some point, I don't think it's now. I think Bitcoin dominance has got a long way to go here. I think dominance is going to come up at least to this 121 or at least up here. But I think soon, right, what's going to happen is, okay, dominance comes up here or here. And then a lot of people are going to be like, damn, Bitcoin's moving. Altcoins aren't doing anything. So what's going to happen is, and this is what happens usually, is dominance goes up. Everyone starts piling into Bitcoin as Bitcoin hits wherever it hits. And then that's when, as soon as all the plebs say, screw altcoins, man, I'm going into Bitcoin, that's when altcoins will start ripping, right? It's like this cycle that always repeats. When is it? I don't know when dominance tops out, to be honest. If I had to guess, I think it's going to come all the way up here, if I had to guess at this point. I think it's got a little bit more to go. I still think altcoins are going to continue to kind of struggle here, including Ethereum, you know. But, you know, that's the kind of market we're in, friends. Chris Reed said, like back in 2020, I sold my Matic, then like in 2020, I sold my Matic, then in 2021, it did a 100x move. That was me in 2022. You know how many times I did shit like that? I so much shit like that, man. It is what it is. I still kick myself for Crow, bro. Like that was the easiest money to be made right there. Is Crow wasn't doing shit. I had a lot of Crow, like a lot of Crow. It was one of my biggest bags. And then as soon as, like, literally the day after, right, Crow wasn't doing shit. I sold all my Crow for ETH. Okay? And then Crow, from that, literally a day after, in a week, it did a 10x. That would have been the easiest money being made ever. And to that day, to this day, that one still pisses me off, man. Because that's when Crow, literally the day after I sold it, got announced that the LA stadium is going to be called Crypto.com Arena. Literally, bro. Like, it was, I was so pissed off, man. Like, that was like my Wojak moment where I was like, shit, bro. Like, you know, I was like this, where I was like, I'm going to sell all my Crow for Ethereum. Ethereum's doing really well. Crow isn't doing anything. I'm going to be a genius. Right? That was my Wojak moment. You know, maybe we've all had that Wojak moment. We all have. Let's see. Let's see. Mike said, I think I failed psychology in school. Psychology was an interesting class, man. Psychology, I think I took psychology in college. I don't remember how I did. Probably pretty bad. That's besides the point. Fahid said, I'm waiting for 8K. Tino was king. Oh, God. Here we go with the 8Ks. Bitcoin gets one red day. We're back to 8K calls. Let's see. Andrew said, I remember your Crow sell. Yeah, you were there, Andrew. I remember most of you guys were there during that time. You guys know I wasn't very happy that day. And, yeah. Al Duckworth said, genius. Nope, that was me being very stupid. All right, so let's see. ETH's still just chopping around, you know. I'm not really, like I said, guys, like Ethereum, there isn't too much new to say here. This chart is just a boring ass range, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days of just up and down, right? Literally just trading between green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red. Look at this. It's a perfect pattern. Green to red every day. Bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. Really not doing anything, right? Just a range between 1700 and 1850. So not too much more to say about Ethereum. I guess I will say, it's in the same standpoint as Bitcoin, as where it's like it kind of swung fairly highs at about 1791. So I would actually be slightly bearish on ETH, just like most altcoin charts look kind of to me, to be honest. So for Ethereum, right, you had these highs, you swung failed the highs, you closed below, you got resistance on that high again. Technically speaking, if we're going to be honest, right, this one you would target the range low, which happens to be like, I would say is this point here, right, where we pulled back to here. Technically speaking, you would pull back to here. Do I necessarily think you're going to do that? I don't. I really don't think you're going to come that low. But I do think if Bitcoin gets this pullback to where we're looking at, 25.2, you could definitely see ETH come back to like 1600 right here, the 1600 level, which was kind of this mid-range here. But yeah, ETH just kind of chopping around like chop suey, bro. It's been the same. There ain't not too much new to add there. Let's see. Al said, what percentage of your investment is already long compared to what you're saving for a lower low or further DCA? To me, I don't think Bitcoin's going significantly lower, man. So, like I said, I've made some of my bigger buys that I've ever done in crypto in the past. When did I make my biggest buys, right? It was basically when my big signals went off, right? So when Bitcoin first came to this 200-week moving average, which was right around 22K, I made a pretty big buy there. I was down for that for a little bit, but now, this is why you got to have patience sometimes. Now that's up about 30%, right? What else did I do? I did it when the hash ribbon signal went off, which was down here in December, right? So I made some buys down there. Also, basically all the big signals. When Bitcoin actually got back above the bull market support band and retested it, that was another one of my signals. I bought a pretty good amount down there, right? So for me, it's like all my things have gone off, okay? So at this point, I got to respect my analysis, and at some point, I got to have the ball sack to say I'm going in, because you can always sit here and say it's going to go lower, right? I can sit here and say I think it's going to go to 10K. And when it gets to 10K, I can sit here and say it's going to go to 5K. At some point, I got to have some ball sack and look at the chart the way I look at the chart and say, I'm going to take a bet here, right? Because what is an investment? Investment is a bet. You're betting on your analysis. Don't listen to the news, all this stuff. Listen to what you think. This is what I believe in. So far, it's been the right call so far. We'll see if it continues to be, right? But to me, I don't think Bitcoin's going lower than 15K at this point. If it does, that means there's a bigger issue at hand anyways. At that point, it is what it is, right? It is what it is at that point. Am I going to bet, it's always the funniest things, from the bull market to bear market is like when we're in this range, okay, everyone's always waiting for lower, right? Despite the fact that we've had bad news. When bad news doesn't push Bitcoin lower, what does that tell you? Okay, that tells you that it's not going to. You've had bad news after bad news in here. It just hasn't gone there, Bad FOMC, bad CPI, this exchange going down, that exchange going down. Yeah, Bitcoin just doesn't want to go lower, man. That's all I need to see. Just like at the highs where it's like good news after good news after good news after good news, but Bitcoin just can't push higher. Tells you that it's not going to go higher, people get way too focused on the narratives that are in the news, man. If you've been listening to the news since June of 2022, you've been wrong since this point, okay? So for the last year, if you've been just strictly listening to the news and investing off the news, you've been wrong. That's been the case, right? So I don't look at the news, right? Yeah, I pay attention to it for short-term volatility, right? You can trade it, right? FOMC meeting, you'll get volatility up and down. Doesn't change the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. Because if we got bearish after every FOMC meeting where Powell's bearish, we would think we would be at 6K by now. Yet Bitcoin's here at 28K. Like, it didn't care about anything that Powell's been saying for the last year. You know what I mean? That's always my... We always get hyped up with this FOMC meetings, yet Bitcoin just continues higher here. You know? That's my take. That's my take. Let's see. Crypto Moon Boy's gonna get wrecked soon. I just don't think this... What Moon Boys, though? Like, what Moon Boys are there? I don't see anyone calling for, like, significantly higher prices. There isn't any Moon Boys right now. George, he's always a Moon Boy. You can't count George. He's always a Moon Boy. The guy calling for 1 million BTC, no one really believes that guy. No one really believes that guy. It's one guy calling for $1 million BTC. Does anyone really think that's going to happen? No. No one thinks that's going to happen. I just don't think there's really many Moon Boys right now. I think, you know, I still am looking at this as a disbelief rally. And, you know, the popular and easy thing to say is Bitcoin's just going to go lower. That's the easy way to say. You'll get likes. You'll get clicks. If you say Bitcoin's going to crash, I put a little fire in my thumbnails calling for crazy recession and crashing coming. Yeah, I can get more clicks and more people will like me that way. Why? Because that's what the herd wants at the moment, right? You can see it. I see it. I see it. You look on Twitter. What posts get the most likes on Twitter? Okay, I pay attention to this stuff to see sentiment. It's the bearish. The crypto capo posts get freaking ridiculous amount of likes. Right? Any trader with the arrow down to 15K is getting a ridiculous amount of likes. That's what most people want. They want another chance. We'll see. We'll see. 1 million coming by next Tuesday. I don't know, man. I don't know. Lazarus got liquidated. Oh, Lazarus, use stop losses, my man. Don't get liquidated, bro. You got to use stop losses when you trade, man. I don't think Lazarus actually got stopped. I don't think he actually got liquidated. You know, shout out to Kennedy, bro. He's saying shout out to likes. Cheers to everyone in the chat, man. Cheers to everyone in the chat. I always like to say some of you guys might not like what I'm saying, but you know, I'm going against the herd here. I'm not going to let the chatter around me influence my thought process. Right? Everyone in the chat saying, Jordan, you're an idiot for thinking we're going to go higher, or Jordan, you see what's happening around the world. I'm not going to let that get to my head, right? Because most people let that get to their head and influence their decisions. It ain't gonna impact me. It ain't gonna impact me, man. It ain't gonna impact me. Because if I've been listening to that since 15K, I would already be out of the market by now. I would have shorted every single rally up to this point. You know? So I'm not gonna let that influence me here. Crypto Capo is a disaster. Yeah, man. All the people who were listening to that guy just got absolutely destroyed, bro. Oh, man. Man, what's funny about him is he doesn't even trade. People were listening to him like he was literally, he doesn't even invest or trade. He was just saying, I think the market's going down, and everyone's like, yeah. It just goes to show like how many likes that guy gets on his tweets. It just goes to show how many people want lower lows. You know, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy at this point. Let's see. You, Carl the Moon, Eric Crown. See, Carl the Moon's always going to be bullish too. Blockchain backer. See, for me, all the people who are very logical and aren't biased to one way, okay? Blockchain backer, Jason Pizzino, two guys who called the top at 60K. That's why I put a lot of weight into what they say, right? Just like when we go back up to the highs, you guys won't like me because I'll be bearish. Just like no one liked Blockchain Backer and Jason Pizzino at the highs because they were bearish. And I'm going to be the same way when we go to the highs where everyone's looking to buy. I'm going to be saying, guys, I'm looking to sell here, right? Both of them who were bearish at 60K, well, everyone was a moon boy going, woohoo!
Strap up, we're going to the moon.
Right? Both of them think the bottom is in, okay? And they were bearish at the highs, so that they're not biased. You know, I don't care about Call the Moon and George, and no, I don't care about them, man. It is what it is, right? I could say the same thing about the Bears. Savvy, Tino, they're always going to be bearish, you know, no matter what the market is doing. You know what I mean? There's always perma bears and perma bulls. That thing doesn't matter to me. But the people who aren't biased, if they think the bottom is in, that has a lot of impact, right? Same thing with Eric Crown. Another guy, right? A lot of people respect Eric Crown. He thinks the bottom is in too. I agree. To me, I mean, everyone has a different way they think the bottom is in. Eric Crown uses statistics. I think Jason Bazzino uses his GON indicator, whatever it is. I don't even know what that is. Blockchain Backer uses fractals. I just look at the price action. I look at Wyckoff. I look at sentiments, right? And to me, it's just literally the exact opposite of the 69K highs, right? Literally the exact opposite. And I think most people are just falling for the news at this point, and just getting and they really think these big companies are going to tell them the truth about where Bitcoin's going to go. Guys, you got all these big companies were calling for highs when Bitcoin was at all-time highs. They don't tell you what they want. They tell you the opposite of what's going to happen because that's what they're selling on you or buying on you. You know, man, bro. Let's see. Jerome, where's the money going to come from? Right? I mean, it is what it is. But this 25K, man, is a breakout of a 10-month range. It's hard for me to be bearish of a breakout of 10-month range, bro. And with a monthly time frame, I'll keep saying it, man. The monthly time frame, guys. I will keep harping on this. The monthly time frame, okay? Big deviation, break back into the range. You came back down, you back tested the previous all-time high on a wick while taking half this vector candle, so you don't have to come back down and take this anymore. It was just an absolute beautiful monthly candle, man, right? Now we still have 3 days left in this monthly candle, but man, I'm still looking at, if you break through here, it's looking pretty juicy to me, man. Let's see. His base case is 50K, then Goblin Town. Let's see. TA and charts say 77, 8K. And you guys know my take. I'm not like ultra bullish right now. I'm basically looking to see what like Bitcoin does something similar to it did in 2019, which was all I'm doing is I'm looking for a rally into June, right? 2019 Bitcoin rallied into June, right? 2014 Bitcoin rallied into June, and then it had a pullback back to close to the lows. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just following what Bitcoin's done in the past. I'm not doing like some crazy analysis here because you don't need to do crazy analysis. People get way too pumped with this like crazy analysis. Just overlay the two previous bear markets. Look at the troughs and peaks, and you usually see a very, very similar structure each time. I'm still looking for Bitcoin to come up into June, right? And then I'm looking for a pullback. So something like this, right? Bitcoin comes up, right? Maybe it pulls back first. I don't know. Pulls back into this 40K region and then gets a pullback back down here, right? And then what happens from here, I don't know. But then you got the halving coming up, and Bitcoin usually comes up at that time. So something along the lines of this. I do think that most people on the sidelines will get another chance, right? I do. I'm not saying that they won't get another chance. I just think it's not going to be now. And I think what will happen is if Bitcoin pumps up here eventually, most people are going to buy up here thinking it's going to go to all-time highs. And then it pulls back. They're going to sell again down here. And then it's going to come back up again. Right? And that's where it gets tricky. That gets where really, really tricky, man. Let's see. CH, so you're basically saying we are still in a bear market. Bottom is in. Well, you're not really. I mean, think about it this way. Are you really still in a bear market if the bottom is in? Because then technically the trend is up. If the bottom is in, if you think the bottom is in, you don't think we're in a bear market anymore, right? Because then the price is up, right? So, like, if you look at the previous cycles, were you really still in a bear market in this range? You really weren't. Prices were going up. For crypto, yes, they weren't going parabolic, but it's still a bull trend in that point, right? From right here, and all the cycles that bottomed at the exact same time. Look at this, man. They all bottomed at the exact same time, right? 1, 2, 3 points. You were already, this really wasn't a bear market anymore. You were already kind of in an uptrend. You know what I mean? It's not really a bear market anymore. So my take is, I don't think we're in a bear market anymore. I think we're in that transitory period, which you can still call the beginning part of a bull trend, you know? Because you kind of start to move up. Yeah, you'll have ups and downs and wiggly woos, but the trend is up, right? Higher lows, higher highs over time, you know? That's what I'm looking for, at least. Psycho Pro, what's going on, bro? Rip the bulls at the open. Rip the bulls at the open. Let's see. How's stocks looking like? How's stocks looking like on the open? I'm going to just stay up for the 5 minutes of the open, guys, and then I'm going to go off here. Dow Jones, futures looking pretty good. ES looking really good. NASDAQ looking good. So futures are all up on the stock market. All I was hearing this weekend was stocks are going to open red Monday, right? Putin this, Putin that. Do the opposite of what people are saying, man, right? Stocks up, and the DXY is coming down about 0.16%. We'll see if it continues. But really the big thing, oh yeah, see the DXY now. Oh man, see DXY. We'll see if this continues down. But you see, like it's having trouble with the 50 EMA again, man. So obviously it's the Monday open. Don't get too excited yet because I've seen Mondays where it dumps and then it pumps back up, and Monday always makes your range. It makes your range high and range low. And then you can trade that range. Like last week, you could have traded the Monday open and the Monday close just over and over and over again, right? So right here, DXY is coming down. If it does, that would be pretty interesting. Like I said, let's see how Monday plays out. Don't put too much stock into the pre-market open on Monday because these things could just reverse. DXY could shoot up, stocks could shoot down. Let's see how this plays out. Bitcoin kind of just chilling out at the moment, but you do have ES, Dow Jones, all looking pretty damn good with the DXY coming down. That is a good sign. And I will say this, guys, everyone's bullish on gold. I'm not too bullish on gold right now, man. Everyone's getting bullish on gold really at the highs. It's always what happens, man. I pointed this out last week. Everyone loves to get bullish at things at Fibonacci levels and resistance. It happens every single damn time. So gold, everyone's saying gold to the moon here. I don't think so, man. I think gold's going to pull all the way back down here. Well, look at what happened, right? We said this last week when we were right here, where everyone's getting super bullish on gold to the moon. What do? You paint bearish divergence, right, on the lower term time frames, double top, shooting down. I think gold's about to come all the way back down to these range lows, right when everyone gets the most bullish on it, right? And then everyone's going to get bearish on gold, and that's probably when it bounces. But, gold, I do think is going to make this higher time frame wedge where it probably comes down again, has one more move up, taps these highs again, probably makes a little triple top, and then comes back down in this wedge formation, right, over the course of time. We're going to keep this here, right? But typically for stocks, you want to see gold come down, right? You want to see gold come down for stocks, and that's a good thing. So let's see what happens with gold. I might short gold. I think you might be a little late on that. I think the time to short was up here. It's a little bit more risky right here, but you can do whatever you want to do, man. Let's see. Fahid said, I'm going to remain bearish till BTC is 1 million. Then I'll agree with y'all, right? Otherwise, crypto is a scam. I can see that. Like Bitcoin hits 1 million, and Fahid's like, Bitcoin's in a bull market now. That's always the funniest thing, man. Let's see who we got. Actually, the 15-minute chart is a big W. On what? What are we looking at? What are we looking at, Mike? On Bitcoin or what are we looking at here? Are we looking at Bitcoin? Let me know what you're talking about, Mike. We've looked at so many things in the last couple of minutes. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't talk about gold, DXY, stocks, Bitcoin. Oh man. Oh man. All right, guys. I think I'm let's see. That's I ordered the Easter pack of fart jars from your site. They have not arrived. Can you check? We could check. Here. You want a fart jar? I got you. Hold on. I got you right now. I'll send you in the coffee cup. Hold up. There we go. All right. Who wants the fart jar or the fart coffee cup? Like I said, $1 plus shipping, guys, and it's all yours. Right? I got some fresh it smells a little bit like hazelnut, a little bit like shit, and a little bit like Chinese food for some reason. So it's all yours if you want it. It's here for you. I can get another one for you if you want. Let's see. Joey said Ada. Is Ada getting a move? Let's see. Seems like really XRP is really the only alt that's really getting a bid. XLM following XRP. SHIB's getting a slight move up. Doge. A lot of the old coins are getting a nice move up. But you're not really seeing anything else getting anything here. Everything else is mostly flat. Not really doing too much today. As we're waiting to see what the markets do on Monday morning here. Dollar is shooting down. You know, let's see where this closes today. But guys, I'm still bearish on the dollar here. As much as everyone, you know, everyone is kind of a stretch. I should say a lot of peeps think this is going to go up. Same thing with the stocks, right? Everything's saying the stock market's going to dump. I think stocks are going to bounce. Right? They're all at support. You know, and I think Bitcoin dominance is going to continue up. You're going to still see Bitcoin sort of outpace altcoins. What does Bitcoin do here? There's many scenarios, you know, many scenarios that could play out today. If Bitcoin does get a drop, right, I think the most logical scenario is a sweep of these lows, right? Everyone's waiting for 25-2 with limit orders. It doesn't get there. It sweeps these lows and then gets a bounce like this, right? I think if you're going to see the bounce, it's going to be something like this where everyone's waiting for a perfect retest of 25-2 and it doesn't get there, in my opinion. And I will look for a long. Like if it does get here, I'll look for a long here. But if it sweeps these lows and then reclaims this previous low, this is where I'll look for a long right here on a reclaim of this low, and we'll play this back up. Right? Same thing for a short. If Bitcoin, if you want to short Bitcoin, you could do it from the previous weekly open. You could do it from right here. But if Bitcoin sweeps up, right, and then finds some weakness and then points back down and takes out these highs again, like this, we can play short from right here, right? So I mean, it's still one of these range plays where you're kind of just waiting for that sort of play, right? One direction or the other here, but there's a setup for each. That's the best thing. There's a setup for each of these short-term time frame plays here, right? I'm waiting for some type of deviation, reclaim, something like that. We just haven't seen it yet, you know. So we shall wait. We shall sort of see what happens here in the short-term time frames. But so I guess I should say, not too shabby open so far. So I'm gonna get off. Catch you guys at 7. Have a fantastic day, guys. Let's get it. Enjoy your coffee and enjoy your fart jars. Enjoy your fart jars, bro. Enjoy your fart jars. Later, guys. Have a good day. Tony, sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. I'm not sweeping no leg. Palajek said, you know what's coming from that. I don't know what's coming. The hopium farts. You guys want a quick hopium fart? Here you go. I'll give you a quick hopium fart. Here you go. One of them. There you go. There you go. All right. Peace out, guys. I'll play a little song for you here. We'll play a little funk on the beach. Play a little funk on the beach. Why not? It's a good way to go out today. Peace out, fellas. Ba, 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 da,